Hi, my name is Frank Schaefer. What seems like 1,000 years ago, when Donald Trump first announced his candidacy for the presidency, I made a video titled something like, "Let Me Explain the Donald." And it got, I think, about 4 million views, literally, when it was on Facebook. Those were in the days before Facebook had adjusted their algorithm to make sure nothing got shared unless somehow you paid them in some way and everything tightened up. Back in the day, something would be seen a lot on the merits if it was shared. But here we are many years later, and it looks like Donald Trump is about to be arrested and charged with various crimes. And he has resorted to his same January 6th election denial method, calling forth his stormtroopers, his thugs, his white MAGA followers, his elderly, aging group of white folks, most without college degrees, who are the bedrock of the Republican Party today. What does this have to do with me, other than being a horrified citizen, the proud father of a Marine who fought to defend our democracy, shocked by the fact that a former president would behave this way? He's calling forth his shock troops again to protest, quote unquote. Last time he did this, they threatened to hang the vice president. They stormed the Capitol. They injured policemen. They created violence, used bear pepper spray against our law enforcement officers, etc. We can expect more of the same now. In other words, Donald Trump is saying, I am above the law, and if you do prosecute me, I have people who will back me up. All kinds of thugs, militias, armed folks who like to do open carry when they protest at various state capitals, the kind of people who conspire to kidnap and perhaps kill and torture the governor of Michigan, on and on and on. We can't get used to this. You know, I come from an evangelical background, and my family bears outsized responsibility for the chaos we face today from the right wing. Evangelicals used to be about following Jesus and trying to convert other people to a, quote, Christ-centered life. Today, they have turned into a Christian nationalist party, the backbone of a white fascism on the rise in America that demonizes gay people, Black people, Jews, women, so-called woke folks. I'm not sure what their sin is, other than trying to be sensitive and caring and inclusive. But apparently these things are hateful to the Republican majority, to the MAGA backbone that backs Trump. What is acceptable to them is to pour into the streets, to threaten violence, and to follow someone who has lied consistently about a stolen election, has lied all through his life from Trump University on about all his failed business attempts, the various cons and scams his family has been involved with. This is what evangelical Christianity has become in the eyes of the world, American evangelical Christianity. And that includes, by the way, a number of Hispanic evangelical charismatic Christians who are now going along on the Trump wagon, even though this hateful bigot has called folks like them rapists who come across the border illegally, et cetera, et cetera. It makes no sense, except when you realize that the same thing is happening on the West Bank of Israel with the Orthodox Jews who are now swearing that they're going to occupy that territory forever, and is happening in Iran with the beating and the killing and the rape in police stations of young women who refuse to wear the hijab, and is happening in India as Modi leads a Hindu nationalist movement, the mirror image of our white evangelical Christian nationalist movement, persecuting Muslims and others. The same thing that is happening in Saudi Arabia with the execution of as much as 80 people in one day declared to be terrorists because they oppose the authoritarian regime of the royal family. The same thing that is happening in Putin's Russia as he uses his stand against gay people and trans people and woke people to declare that he is somehow defending Western civilization against the likes of you and me who don't vote for authoritarian leaders like Donald Trump. The same thing that is happening in Hungary, the same thing that is happening across the world as we see a rise of fundamentalist religious nationalism that is very similar from one country to the next, even if those groups, those religions theoretically reject each other. So here in America, when we stand against Donald Trump, when we explain Donald Trump, let's understand something. The evil he has done has been made possible by only one group big enough to influence an election, the white evangelical voter, now joined by a number of Hispanic voters who also are charismatic evangelicals. This is an indictment of an entire religion, and they need to stand up and take accountability for this. Their leaders have not spoken up clearly. People like Franklin Graham, Ralph Reed, and the others that made a deal literally with the devil when they told Donald Trump, look, we don't approve of your personal behavior, your adultery, your divorces, your affairs with porn stars, paying off porn stars, et cetera, but we'll back you as long as you give us the judges, the anti-woman misogynistic judges, the Roman Catholic judges who now run the Supreme Court and are on the federal bench, the list from the Federalist Society. These are the people truly responsible. They are the responsible ones for the predicament we're in now, still backing Donald Trump and not speaking against the fact that he is calling for incitement, violence, and even up to and including the point of civil war to get him off the hook, to try to intimidate prosecutors into not doing their duty as officers of the court and the law by backing off from indicting him and prosecuting him for the crimes he has committed in this country. Everything from being accused of rape in various suits that are being brought against him, all the way down to the illegal paying off of a porn star for an affair he had, to the stealing of an election, the attempt to steal an election, then accusing the other side of doing what he himself did. This is disgusting behavior. It is white evangelical behavior. There is no way to duck this. The white evangelical community is the enemy of democracy now, to the extent that it has backed Donald Trump. The far right is a violent terrorist movement threatening terrorism in our streets, terrorism of the kind they used to storm the Capitol, threatening it again if the law is carried out and Donald Trump is arrested. It is time now for anybody who wants to save some least vestige of respectability and good citizenship for evangelicals to stand up and speak out. Where are the pastors speaking from their pulpits? Where are the evangelical writers speaking from the pages of Christianity Today magazine and other places like that? Where are the Christian television hosts speaking out? Where are the radio stations saying we've had enough? We will not be part of another social upheaval, another violent insurrection to defend this leader of ours. The Trump era is a horror show. It is the American equivalent of Vladimir Putin. They are a mirror image of each other. Putin has attacked Ukraine and committed violence and started a European land war. Trump has tried to undermine American democracy. It is no accident that Trump is more similar to Vladimir Putin than he is to any American leader. I am ashamed for the part my family played in the 70s and 80s to this debacle, the rise of the so-called pro-life movement, the anti-woman misogyny we have today. And the best I can do is to say, once again, I am sorry for the part we played 40 years ago, to beg forgiveness and to just say it is time for anybody who counts themselves as a citizen to stand up, to defend, by the way, the younger people who define themselves as woke against the onslaught of Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump and these fascist armed thugs ready to take to our streets and kill again, as they did on January the 6th. My name is Frank Schaefer.